The fallout after Thomas Tuchel's appointment continues. Some of the crazy analysis, some of the lengths that the mainstream media is going to, I find absolutely infuriating. The idea that we shouldn't have a foreign coach of the men's national team when so much of British sport, so much of international sport sees many a nation do this. Why suddenly is it a problem? And of course, they are setting up a situation where Thomas Tuchel is going to be ridiculed based on his passport, his nationality, an immutable object within his person, as opposed to what he does as a manager. Do me a big favor and hit the like and the share button for us, please. As I do, of course, want to get your views and your opinions on this situation, but we want to share this video as much as possible because I feel embarrassed as an Englishman with the way we're doing it. But let's take a little listen to this here.
I think I was very surprised how quickly this has happened. I think it was only the day before that it seemed that Pep Guardiola was the main guy.
This idea that they're why has it happened so quickly? It's been like 3 months, 4 months since Gareth Southgate left. What are they talking about quickly?
Possibly the FA were looking at.
So they're trying to plant the seed that's been rushed. So if it goes wrong, it's been rushed. It's another little thing to hit Tuchel over the head with.
So yeah, I think that the speed of how suddenly Thomas Tuchel has become manager caught us all a little bit by surprise. In an ideal world, I think we would all prefer an Englishman to be leading.
No, most of us wouldn't. When you say things like that, Danny Mills, that in an ideal world we'd all prefer it to be an Englishman, I just want it to be the best person for the job. I just want it to be the person who, the best available manager, the best available coach to try and get England to that next level.
There are one or two surprises. I don't quite understand why he only starts in January. I think that's a little bit odd when there's 2 games before that.
Again, when he says it's a little bit odd, again, he's trying to make it sound a bit sinister and underhand. Is he really dedicated to us? Is he really committed to us? Or does he want a bit more holiday time before he starts his job? Is that what an Englishman would do? That is the underlying tone I'm hearing here.
Who's going to be picking the team in November?
Well, Lee Carsley.
Will Thomas Tuchel be at the games? Will he be there? Will he have any input?
See, these are questions for me that I just don't think matter in any real way, shape or form. But take a look at what Danny Mills has also said in this clip. Take a listen to this, right? It is crazy.
From the way that he handles the media to Gareth. Often we see him in a hoodie and a cap on the sidelines. Will that be his managerial stance in England?
We see him in a hoodie and a cap. A hoodie and a cap. And do you know what's crazy? We're not talking about his formations, his discipline, his cup records. Go and listen to Pep Guardiola talk about how difficult a manager and head coach Thomas Tuchel is to go up against. I'm not talking about his win percentage, his pedigree, the formations and the tactics. What players could he get the best out of? Suit and tie, bruv. Tracksuits and hats. The irony in it all is this. Sir Alf Ramsey, the only England manager to win us a trophy, the World Cup in 1996. Go look at what he was wearing when they're walking around a picture of the trophy. I saw pictures today. He was wearing a tracksuit. Now, I never even thought about it. I never even considered it. It didn't matter to me personally in any capacity. But when that is what you're talking about, you are scraping the bottom of the barrel. And they all keep saying, it's not about Tuchel. It ain't about that he's German per se. I don't want to make this about Thomas Tuchel, but actually I think we'd all prefer an Englishman. But all these little things, why is no one talking about the manager, his ability, his coaching, his systems? It stinks.
We as a nation are saying we need a foreign coach to make us successful.
I think we are damaging. I'm sure.
I want to start this again, actually. Sorry, I weren't meant to start playing there. I want to start this again. This is the overlap, guys. Let's take a little listen.
Tonight that England have appointed. I don't want this to be.
Isn't that again? I'm shocked tonight.
I'm shocked. I'll be honest with you. I'm shocked. I'm shocked tonight that England have appointed. I don't want this to be about Thomas Tuchel.
But it is going to be about Thomas Tuchel. It is. I don't understand where this shock has come from.
It's nothing to do with Thomas Tuchel.
It's everything to do with Thomas Tuchel. he is the new head coach, and we are setting up an environment where he is going to be attacked from pillar to post. And I believe the pundits, a lot of them are ex-England players, are making the situation worse. They may not all be intentionally doing it. Some are, some may not be. But that's what's happening in reality.
Shocked tonight that England have appointed a international coach.
They've literally thrown a grenade into their entire new ethos.
How have they? Excuse me, I don't know who this person is, and I mean it with respect. She doesn't know who I am either. What do you mean they've thrown a grenade into the ethos? Where is it written down in the ethos that we will never appoint someone who is foreign? Where does it say that in the FA's ethos, St George's Park's ethos? It doesn't.
I think it's embarrassing that we as a nation are saying we need a foreign coach to make...
That I agree with. I think I can agree with the notion that it's crazy that we don't have a single manager in England who is English that's as good or better than Thomas Tuchel. That is embarrassing. But that's why he's been appointed.
Make us successful.
I think we are damaging our own coaching programme.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Him being at the top, again, the challenge has got to be there. How is it stopping the younger, up-and-coming coaches and managers developing? How is it stopping them? How is it stopping them from progressing?
And we are also damaging our own brand, if you like.
We are not damaging our brand because we have a German head coach. You know, the players, like, there's so much about, forget just the England national team, there's so much about us as English people that is imported and foreign. I don't get the problem. I don't get the concern. I really don't. We are not damaging our brand.
Tuchel will receive horrific criticism.
Because of comments like this, Gary. I truly believe that, mate. It's because of the way this rhetoric is being pushed. If you, Carragher, the lady you're with, if Danny Mills, if everybody was predominantly talking about what he could bring to us, what we could win, how we may play, what players, if we were talking about the football, the criticism would be different. But it's always being made about nationality. And I'm not suggesting that Gary Neville is xenophobic. I don't think he is. When you look at his politics, when you look at him as a person, that isn't how he comes across in any capacity. But to some people, it's a dog whistle. And for me personally, yeah, I'm really disappointed with it. Look, I'd love to get your take, people. I'd love to get your views and your opinions on this. Up next, I want to touch a little bit here on Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba has done an interview and he has addressed something that Wayne Rooney has said. Take a little listen here, people.
And I want to clarify something about because I've been hearing stuff that Wayne Rooney once said, we lost the game and me and Jesse were dancing in the changing room. We need this. You need always other opinion, a witness on this, okay? So if somebody can confirm what Wayne Rooney said when we were in the changing room, I will accept it. But if there is not, that's mean it's not true. And when Jesse Lingard tell you, did Jesse Lingard confirm that? Never, I never confirmed that because I'm a very bad loser and I respect what I do, I respect the club. After a game that I lose, me coming to the dressing room, putting music, and Wayne Rooney, the legend of the club, sitting there and not saying nothing to us.
I want to clarify something here. Paul has every right to respond. Paul is right and wrong at the same time, so bear with me. Bear with me on this. Rio Ferdinand did say on a podcast that Wayne Rooney has said that after a defeat, Lingard and Pogba were dancing. And then went on to say that he couldn't really stop it because it was a big group and the old elder statesman had kind of lost control of the dressing room by then. That is what Rooney said. So Pogba is responding to what Rio said. The problem is Rio got it wrong. I went back and looked because this is how, what's the expression, like Chinese whispers, stories change over time. What Wayne Rooney actually said, so I had to go back to 2002 to get this comment. What Wayne Rooney said is, I remember one time I came into training the day after a defeat. I was still really upset and I went into the dressing room with Michael Carragher and we found Lingard and Paul Pogba dancing to music. So there is a witness to this, Michael Carragher. However, Rooney didn't say it was straight after a game. He said it was the next day in training. So I think there's an element here of story wires being crossed. So to defend Paul Pogba, I think he's responding to what he's heard Rio Ferdinand say, and it's grown from there. Wayne Rooney didn't say it exactly how Rio Ferdinand did. So it's important to get the story straight in that regard. But what I find really interesting here that Paul Pogba has revealed is he thinks that Wayne Rooney at that point should have been controlling the dressing room. Wayne Rooney and Michael Carrick felt that they'd lost control of the dressing room, and the likes of Paul Pogba and Lingard and that younger ups group had sort of taken over. So their behaviour became the culture. And what's very interesting there is maybe both were wrong. Maybe Pogba and co were waiting for the elder statesman to take charge and control it. And equally, the older guys thought they'd lost control. But actually, there was this moment in time where there was this kind of power shift in behaviour where nobody grabbed a hold of it. And I think this is, for me, this is the more intriguing part of this video than Paul calling out Wayne Rooney. I think it reveals a very dark issue at Manchester United. And it isn't specific to any one player. You will know when it comes to Paul Pogba, I criticised him when he played badly. But this idea that he was a virus and he was the reason that Man United were bad was absolutely preposterous. And the way that was always spun used to blow my mind, considering he's been gone now, 3 or 4 years, and we haven't got better as a football club. Who knew? You know, the same as when Rooney was at the end of his career. Get rid of Rooney, we'll become better. It didn't happen either. I think for me, what's a real key component here is Ineos and co looking at this and saying, we need to get the players talking. Maybe there needs to be meetings about this, because I guarantee that's still going on now. And when I say a dark side to the club, I mean a real problematic area. So inadvertently maybe here, I think Paul Pogba has unearthed something that needs to be discussed, because dressing room culture is so key. And I fervently believe that if you sat and you were a fly on the wall in Man City's dressing room at training and before and after games for a month, and then did the same thing in Man United's, I think you would see significant differences in behaviour, attitudes, dedication, concentration, even the atmosphere in there. I think you would see it. I think you would notice it. I think you would feel it at times. But as ever, look, people, I'd love to get your views and your opinions. Please leave us your comments below. Make sure you are subscribing to The Terrace, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Peace.